been a long time since a boat properly wowed me, like knocked me off my feet impressive. The recent Genoes we looked at were doing some super cool, innovative stuff with monohulls. But today, we're going on a proper wow boat. A word of warning though, it has more than one hull. This is the Bali 5.8 called Open Space, and the name makes sense. Open space is exactly what this boat should be called, if we're not going to be calling it wow. A quick history lesson. In 2003, Olivier Ponson sensed the demand for catamaran boats and took an interest in the legendary Katana brand, which he went on later to buy. A few years later, he realized that the blue water catamaran market was too small and didn't provide the desired financial visibility. The decision was taken to attack the most significant part of the sailing multi-hull market in the face of significant and legitimate competition. Think Lagoon and Fontaine Peugeot and Leopard and all those guys. To meet the challenge, Olivier Ponson's solution was to innovate in an audacious manner. He imagined disruptive concepts that revolutionized the code of sailboat building, a common space between the saloon and the aft cockpit, a tilting garage door, and an integrated foredeck. In September 2014, the first Bali catamaran was launched, the Bali 4.5, followed just a few weeks later by the Bali 4.3. Today, the Katana Bali catamaran shipyard builds over 300 boats a year in France, and this is the 5.8 Open Space. Overall length is 58 feet, 29 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and 56,000 pounds. A proper beast carrying over 300 gallons of water and over 300 of fuel. First, we note the massive fold-up sun deck on the back with dinghy storage and an amazing place to relax in the tropics, leading to a huge open style aft section accessible whether you're backed into a slip or tied up dockside. The hydraulic platform will go right down into the water for swimming or to park the dinghy on it and then lift the dinghy up out of the water. Pretty clever. Up the stairs we get our first look at the aft outside area of this boat, which is kind of small at first, but it immediately attaches to the inside area. But I got sidetracked because there's gull wing doors, clearly borrowed from Genoa, and these caught my attention. I had to check it out. Inside, we get a full standalone cabin with island bed and its own ensuite bathroom with a shower. A good amount of space with a small amount of storage and a small window. It's slightly dark in here, and having access only from the outside aft end of the boat means you won't want small children in here, but it is very private for adult guests or crew. Back up the stairs and around onto the wide and easy to access side deck, we head for the bow and note the beefy hull side mounted chain plates, a new trend we see on boats, and we like this. Mounting the chain plates to the outside makes them easy to inspect and easy to replace someday. Stairs lead up to the flybridge and the rooftop lounge area, and then we come to one of Bali's signature moves, the forward cockpit area accessible from the side decks or from a door in the front of the cabin. This is a massive amount of space and definitely makes this boat lend itself well to a crude charter situation where lots of guests are on board and need different places to hang out. If 4 couples rented this boat as a crude charter, they'd almost never have to see each other. The downside to this cockpit is it would always be windy up here at anchor, but it's a beautiful place to hang out. In terms of sailing, there's a self-tacking jib for upwind performance and strong winds. There's a code 0 that can be handled from the cockpit. The boat's weight is reduced a little by the use of carbon in places like bulkhead reinforcements, similar to the rest of the boats in the Katana line. This method of construction also helps minimize squeaks and groans when you're underway. Forward in the starboard hull, accessible from the deck, are the captain's quarters. I'm not sure why manufacturers keep thinking that captains want to sleep in the bow of a hull. They don't, I promise. but nonetheless captain's quarters. Prices on these new Bali 5.8s are running just north of $1.5 million, and while I'm not sure a lot of them will be going into private ownership, I can certainly see chartering as a very big market for these. There's so much space and so many different places to hang out. I can imagine this will be the high-end luxury option for most charter fleets. Up top, we have a Helm station perched high above all the distractions and great visibility all the way around the boat. Everything is controlled from here, and the captain can stay up here in the full enclosure when it's rolled out in total command of this near 60-footer. I will say windage from a boat this tall will be a lot, so I wouldn't anchor next to one of these if I saw one, but that's the price you pay for all this space. Just remember to set an anchor alarm before you go to sleep. The tallest cat always drags first. Back down the stairs, we head into the vast and connected main living area with a full living room and full kitchen. This is downtown condo stuff, and you'll quickly forget you're even on a boat. Panoramic windows and fine finishes and every appliance you could ever wish for. The Jenny will be running a lot to make all this stuff work. The galley has cupboards and a widened countertop that's U-shaped to accommodate several people underway. The dining area seats 12 people with a lounger where guests can relax in between meals. There's also an integrated bar. A deep, wide outside bench seat faces the saloon for stretching out with a good book or indulging in a nap. Forward, there's a door and an opening window allowing fresh air in for ventilation. My next big wow was entering the master stateroom. This reminds me of $1 million RV with all the slide outs deployed. It's hard to even fathom where they found this much space in the hull of a boat, but they've done it. Just wow. One of the things they've done here, for better or worse, is squared off all the edges. Every other boat has rounded and fiberglass walls and corners so that you can definitely tell you're in the bowels of a boat hull. But in here, everything is 90-degree corners and flat surfaces, giving me the illusion that I'm in a proper building on land. It's a weird feeling. Note also that this cabin gets its own Back to the Future door aft to get outside. We head for the port side hull, and note, these come in a lot of different layouts, these boats, with up to 6 cabins, but Bali says that no matter how many cabins you want on your 5.8, they will all have private ensuite heads with separate showers, every one of them, so no wet rooms on this boat. The portside hull continues the tradition of square lines and 90-degree corners, giving us the impression that we're in an apartment instead of a boat. The open space concept is very impressive on this boat. The main floor galley and saloon are truly massive. Impressive uses of space, and while this is a 60-footer, it feels even bigger. Bali is truly pushing the limits of what a catamaran can be, and I can see this as being the flagship of any major charter company. If you liked the cool innovation on this cat, you're likely into newer technology, so you might also like the idea of an electric dinghy outboard. The weight savings over combustion outboards is drastic, but how do we keep them charged most efficiently? Tom Egan wrote a great article on that topic over on the Practical Sailor website. That's definitely worth a read. You should check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. What do you think of Bali's new cat, Open Space? It's crazy. Leave a comment and let us know. And leave a comment with what you want to see a video about here on Practical Sailor. And give this video a thumbs up if you had fun. And hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'll see you guys next time.